load in this inning. And first, Jim Presley will get things started when he belts out his first home run as a Padre, his first home run of the year. This fan with a nice catch. RBI number 4 for Presley. And the Padres go on top by a score of 2-0. Still in the top of the 5th inning, Tony Fernandez comes up, and he puts this ball into the gap in right center field. Bip Roberts scores. RBI number 8 for Fernandez. And the Padres take a 3-0 lead. The big blast in this game, though, will come when Benito Santiago will come up and belt a 3-run home run to left field. Fernandez and Gwynn both score. Home run number 3 for Santiago. RBIs 13, 14, and 15. And the Padres take a 6-0 lead as this fan out in left center field comes up with the nice grab. As once again the Padres go on top by a score of 6-0. Here in the top of the 9th inning now, with the Padres up by a score of 6-3. Marty Barrett will foul off a ball, and another nice catch by this youngster down the third base line. Ed Whitson would go the distance, and here in the bottom of the 9th inning, Tom Foley will ground out to first base to end the ball game as the Padres win it 6-3. Whitson with the win, his record now 2-3. Brian Barnes takes the loss, his record drops to 0-1, as once again the Padres take this ball game by a score of 6-3.
Night in Montreal, Buck Rogers and the Expos snapped a 2-game losing streak and won for the 5th time in 7 games as they defeated the San Francisco Giants 10-4. In the bottom of the 1st inning with 2 outs, Terry Kennedy throws the ball into center field. Jose Uribe smartly backing up the play as Ivan Calderon steals second base. Still in the bottom of the 1st inning, Calderon on second. Don Robinson looking in. He was making his first start of the season after 8 relief appearances, and he strikes out Tim Wallach to end the bottom half of the 1st inning. No score at the end of 1. In the top of the 3rd inning, the Giants with runners on 1st and 3rd. It's Willie McGee on 3rd base, Kevin Mitchell on 1st. Dennis Martinez on the mound for Montreal. And Steve Ripley calls a balk on Dennis Martinez. Martinez quickly arguing the call. Willie McGee comes in to score, but the call is overruled by Jerry Crawford. McGee is sent back to 3rd base, and the game remains scoreless. But in the bottom of the 3rd inning with 2 outs, Montreal explodes for 5 runs. As they bat around, Tim Wallach with the double down the 3rd base line starts it off for the Expos. Dennis Martinez and Marquise Grissom score, and it's 2-0 Expos. Andres Galarraga's RBI single made it 3-0 Montreal, and then with Larry Walker on 3rd base and Galarraga on 1st, Ron Hasse will hit a double to left field. Larry Walker and Galarraga scoring. Montreal with a solid 5-0 lead at the end of 3 innings of play. We move now to the bottom of the 4th. Montreal continues their hot hitting. Delino DeShields leading off the inning for the Expos. He connects for his 4th home run of the season, a shot to right field, his 9th RBI of the year. The Expos have a 6-0 lead. But watch out, it's Marquise Grissom at the plate now for Montreal, and he hits a home run of his own, his 3rd of the year. This one goes over the left field wall. RBI number 10 on the season for Grissom. 7-0 Expos as Delino DeShields and Marquise Grissom connect for back-to-back home runs in the bottom of the 4th. Still in the bottom of the 4th with 1 out now, Tim Wallach at the plate. He hits a solo home run to deep left field off Francisco Olivares, who came into the game to replace Don Robinson after Grissom's home run. It's his 2nd home run of the year to make it 8-0 Montreal. The Expos with 3 home runs in the bottom of the 4th inning. In the top of the 5th with 1 out, it's Kevin Mitchell at the plate for the Giants. He hits a 2-run home run to deep center field. It comes with Darnell Coles on board, his 9th home run of the year. RBIs 19 and 20, and it's 8-2 Expos. We move now to the top of the 7th with 1 out in the inning. Kevin Mitchell at the plate once again. He does it once more. This one's a solo home run to left field, his 10th home run of the year, his 2nd of the game. RBI number 21 on the season for Kevin Mitchell, and it's 8-4 Montreal. Dennis Martinez earned the win to improve to 4-2, despite allowing 12 hits and 4 runs over 7 innings. And in the bottom of the 7th, Larry Walker leading off for Montreal. He hits his 1st home run of the year off Rod Beck, who is making his Major League debut. 9-4 Expos. Montreal goes on to win 10-4. Robinson with the loss falls to 0-1. So to Olympic Stadium in Montreal on Tuesday night as the Expos play host to the San Francisco Giants. Movie crew on hand doing some filming in the stands, and in the bottom of the 3rd inning, a man on 3rd base for Montreal Kelly Downs strikes out Marquise Grissom to end the inning. Downs gave up 1 run on 2 hits over 5 1/3 innings tonight. The movie crew covering up from foul balls. Unfortunately, this fan was not as lucky. You can guess where he got hit. We moved out to the top of the 6th inning with 2 outs. Chris Nabholz had a 1-hitter through 5 innings, but Matt Williams lines a double to left field after Kevin Mitchell was intentionally walked. Robbie Thompson scores to make it 1-0 Giants. Williams snapping an 0 for 26 hitless streak. In the bottom of the 7th, Tim Wallach leading off for Montreal. He hits his 2nd home run in 2 nights, his 3rd of the season. He takes the first pitch he sees from Jeff Brantley over the left field wall. RBI number 9, and it's all tied up at 1 apiece. In the top of the 8th inning, the base is loaded for the San Francisco Giants. Tim Burke on the mound now for Montreal, and he strikes out pinch hitter Terry Kennedy to get the Expos out of that jam, and this game would go 2 extra innings, all tied up at 1 apiece. In the bottom of the 10th, runners on 1st and 2nd. Robbie Thompson with the diving stop on Nelson Santovenia's ground ball. Steps on 2nd base to get Junior Noboa, and the throw to 1st base to complete the double play. In the top of the 12th inning, Will Clark makes it 2-1 San Francisco with the sacrifice fly to left field off of Steve Fry for Montreal. Jose Uribe scores, RBI number 27 for Clark, and it's 2-1 Giants. But that lead would not last, and the Giants would suffer their 7th loss in their last 8 games. In the bottom of the 12th with 2 outs, Nelson Santovenia with the stand-up double on the first pitch from Mike Lacasse. Larry Walker scores, and it's all tied up at 2. This is turning into a long night. We go to the bottom of the 15th with 1 out. Marquise Grissom gives the Expos the win. He hits his 4th home run of the season, a solo shot to left field off of Trevor Wilson. 3-2 Montreal in 15 innings. Scott Ruskin, the winning pitcher, is 1-0. Trevor Wilson takes the loss. He falls to 0-3. Montreal 3-2 over the San Francisco Giants in 15 innings.
First inning, Adam Peterson, the starter for San Diego, facing Ivan Calderon. Peterson strikes out Calderon to end the 1st, and we're in the 2nd, and there's still no score at Jack Murphy Stadium. Top 3, no score, and Marquise Grissom at the plate. And the first pitch he sees from Adam Peterson is out of here for a 3-run home run into the seats, his 5th homer of the year, and it was 3-0 Expos after 2.5. It's 3-0 Expos through the middle innings thanks to the pitching of Dennis Martinez, here getting Thomas Howard to ground out. That ended the 5th inning of play. Dennis Martinez is some pitcher, but he's no hitter. Look at this as he just is sawed off, and he has his hand ringing. And Dennis Martinez doesn't think much of this batting thing as he goes to the dugout. His hands are still hurting him, but it's not hurting him to pitch. Top 6, Ron Hassey's RBI single into center field, plates Larry Walker, 4-0 Expos. Spike Owen follows with a single to center field that scores Andres Galarraga, and that makes it 5-0 Montreal. That was the score through 6, and that was the score in the 7th for San Diego when Fred McGriff gets the Padres on the scoreboard with this home run to left center field, his 8th homer of the year, 5-1 Expos through 8. And 5-1 Expos through 9 as Kevin Ward grounds out to end it. Dennis Martinez pitches a complete game victory. He's 5-2. Adam Peterson 0-1, San Diego's 4th loss in a row.
The first inning, this is Tim Wallach at the plate for Montreal. He lines a single to left center field, scoring Marquise Grissom from 3rd base, and Montreal led 1-0. RBI number 10 for Wallach. Then in the bottom of the 2nd inning, Fred McGriff of San Diego ties the score. He belts a solo home run to right field, his 9th home run of the year. RBI number 23 for McGriff, and the score was tied 1-1. Then in the bottom of the 4th inning, San Diego takes the lead. Scott Coolbaugh hits a single to left field, scoring Tony Fernandez and Tony Gwynn, and the Padres led 3-1. And Larry Anderson and the rest of the Padres thought they had a comfortable lead, but the Montreal Expos would come back here in the top of the 6th inning with the score 3-2 San Diego. Tim Wallach loops a single to left center field, scoring Ivan Calderon from 2nd base, and that tied the score 3-3. But in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Padres come back to score 3 runs. Here with San Diego leading 5-3, Scott Coolbaugh loops a single to short left field. Benito Santiago will score from 3rd base, and San Diego led 6-3. But in the top of the 8th inning, the Montreal Expos come back and score 4 runs. Here with the score 6-5, San Diego, Spike Owen lines a single to right field, scoring Eric Bullock from 3rd base, and that tied the score 6-6. Then later in the top of the 8th inning, Nelson Santavena came to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. He will ground into a force play. San Diego can't turn the double play, and Larry Walker scores the go-ahead run from third base, giving Montreal a 7-6 lead. The Expos hold on to defeat the Padres 8-6.
Los Angeles, the Dodgers hosting the Montreal Expos, and the Dodgers have their ace, Ramon Martinez, on the mound. He would strike out 7 Expos in 7 1/3 innings of work. Here he gets Delino DeShields to lead off the ball game. Then later, Tim Wallach's bat would have to be measured, and would be done so by home plate umpire Joe West, as the umpire is checking out the pine tar on Wallach's bat, as the complaint raised by Dodger manager Tom Lasorda. Meanwhile, the Expos starter Oil Can Boyd looking sharp in the early going. Here in the bottom of the 4th, he strikes out Cal Daniels looking, and the fiery Boyd comes off the mound in this scoreless game trying to fire up his team, but it would be the Dodgers who'd get fired up in the bottom of the 6th, as Eddie Murray would break the scoreless tie with his 2-run double off Boyd. This would score Juan Samuel and then Darryl Strawberry, and the Dodgers take a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 6th, but they would not be finished. The very next batter for the Dodgers would be Cal Daniels, and Daniels would hit his 3rd home run of the year, a 2-run blast. He now has 20 RBI, and the Dodgers score 4 times in the bottom of the 6th to take a 4-0 lead. And that lead looks safe until the top of the 8th, when it would be Delino DeShields hitting his 5th home run of the year, a solo blast off Martinez, and the Expos on the board as they trail 4-1. But Montreal would continue to rally. This time it's Andres Galarraga now facing reliever Jay Howell, and he delivers the single to right field. This would score Ivan Calderon and then Tim Wallach, and it's a 4-3 game. Then with runners on 1st and 3rd and 1 out, Ron Hasse at the plate. He would strike out, and the Expos try the double steal. Galarraga safe at 2nd, but Larry Walker nailed at the plate as Mike Scioscia blocks it, and the Dodgers maintain their 4-3 lead. They add another run to make it 5-3, and then Chris Gwynn, a pinch hit 3-run home run in the bottom of the 8th. His first of the year makes it 8-3. That's the final. Martinez, the winner, 6-1. Boyd, the loser, 1-4.
Game gymnastics before the Expos game against the Philadelphia Phillies. In the top of the 1st inning, Dale Murphy lines a double to left field on the hit and run with John Kruk on first base. Kruk comes around to score, making the score 1-0 Philadelphia, and giving Murphy 19 RBIs for the season. Montreal didn't wait long before taking that run back. Here in the bottom of the 1st inning, Andres Galarraga slices a double to right field, also on a hit and run, this time Ivan Calderon on first base, and Calderon comes in sliding and scores, making the score 1-1. That was the score after 1 inning of play. In the top of the 3rd inning, the Phillies took the lead on a John Kruk sacrifice fly, and then Dale Murphy hit a single up the middle. That scored Von Hayes, making the score 3-1 Philadelphia. Then with the score 4-1 in the top of the 4th inning, Randy Reddy hit a single into left field that scored Pat Combs. Tim Wallach then threw the cutoff throw away, and that allowed Von Hayes to come in to score as well, making the score 6-1 Philadelphia. It also allowed Reddy to go all the way into third base. Then John Kruk hit a double to left field. This goes off of the wall and left and scores Reddy easily, making the score 7-1 Philadelphia. That gave Kruk 30 RBIs for the season. So Pat Combs had a 6-run lead to work with, and he was making the most of it. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, you see him striking out Ivan Calderon. Calderon not too happy about this. Combs still had that 7-1 lead in the 8th inning. Then in the top of the 9th inning, John Kruk picked up his 3rd RBI of the game. He came up with Von Hayes on base, and Kruk singles to right field, scoring Hayes, making the score 8-1 Philadelphia, and that turned out to be the final score. Pat Combs became the first Philly pitcher to go the full 9 innings this season. Here he strikes out Spike Owen to end the game. Combs is now 2-2, while the loser Brian Barnes is 1-1. Once again, the final score 8-1 Philadelphia over Montreal.
Top of the 1st, it's Ricky Jordan staking the Phils to a 1-0 lead. He turns on the oil can pitch, drilling a triple off the left field wall. In to score is John Kruk, and head first into third is Jordan with a triple, who stays down briefly, but it's just dirt in the eye. But the story of the game is 24-year-old right-hander Tommy Green making his 2nd start of the season. He goes the distance with his first Major League no-hitter. Here in the bottom of the 1st, he strikes out Marquise Grissom for his first strikeout. His counterpart, Oil Can Boyd, kept the Expos in the thick of it, giving up just 1 run through 8 innings. Here he retires the side in the 4th, getting John Morris to look at strike 3. In the home 6, Delano DeShields walked and stole 2nd, but his luck ran out at 3rd. Darren Fletcher guns him down at 3rd, erasing the Expo runner and moving Green 1 out closer to the no-hitter. Green entered the game with a 4-5 career record and came to the Phillies from Atlanta last August in the Dale Murphy deal. Fletcher's throw gave Green the lift he needed to get out of the 6th. Here he ends the threat by striking out Andres Galarraga, his 7th strikeout through the first 6 innings. In the top of the 8th, the Phils try to add an insurance run, but Ivan Calderon makes a nice leaping catch at the wall to rob Ricky Jordan of extra bases. In the top of the 9th, with Scott Ruskin on the mound, the Phils do get that insurance run. Darren Fletcher doubles just before a diving Ivan Calderon. That makes the score 2-0, as on to score is Von Hayes as he goes home with the Phils' 2nd run. There to meet him is a preoccupied Tommy Green with just 1 thought on his mind, and that's 3 outs in the 9th inning. With 1 out in the 9th, he gets Andres Galarraga on strikes again. Strikeout number 10 for Green as the bat goes flying back to the backstop out of control. Firmly in control was Green, and with 2 outs, Tim Wallach at the plate. A sharp comebacker right to Green, who makes the sure grab, throws to Ricky Jordan, and Green has the no-hitters. The Phils win 2-0. Green goes 9 innings, walking 7, striking out 10, but issuing no hits. Throw the no-no was Green's teammate Terry Mulholland last August. Following are remarks Green made to Phillies announcer Richie Ashburn.
To the Cubs at Wrigley Field, hosting the Montreal Expos. Top of the 1st inning, Ron Hassey will double to center field off of Rick Sutcliffe. Doug DeCenzo tries to get it, but can't make the catch in the ivy. Larry Walker and Tim Wallach score RBI 10 and 11 for Hassey, and it's 2-0 Montreal. 3-0 after 1. Top of the 3rd, Rick Sutcliffe will pounce off the mound after Dave Martinez's bunt. Dives for it on the ground. The backhand flip to Mark Grace for the out. Great effort by Cubs starter Rick Sutcliffe. Will take one more look as he dives for the ball, flips it over to Grace to get Dave Martinez. 4-0 Montreal now in the top of the 4th inning, when Tim Wallach will hit a looper to center field. DeCenzo will start back on this ball and can't get to it as it drops in front of him. Delano DeShields and Marquise Grissom score RBI 14 and 15 for Wallach, and it's 6-0 Montreal. But the Cubs will lick their wounds, and in the bottom of the 7th inning with a score 6-1, they'll score 7 runs. Mark Grace will get a line drive base hit to center field. They'll bounce away from Grissom in the center field. Eric Pappas and DeCenzo score RBI 19 and 20 for Grace, 6-3 Montreal. George Bell kept himself ready in the dugout in case he's called for to be a pinch hitter. Chico Walker with a base hit to right field. Mark Grace came in to score for Walker. It's his 3rd RBI of the year. 6-4 Montreal. Buck Rogers will come out to argue with Dan Wickman about the way Wickman has been calling balls and strikes, and Rogers gets himself tossed for arguing balls and strikes. 6-5 on a ground out. Now with 2 outs and 2 on, George Bell indeed does step to the plate, and he unloads for a 3-run homer off of Barry Jones. It's his 2nd pinch hit homer of the year, as the Chicago Cubs come back from 5 runs down to score 7 in the bottom half of the 7th inning to give manager Jim Essien his 5th straight win against no defeat since taking over for Don Zimmer. The Cubs win 8-6 in dramatic fashion over the Expos.
Whether they want to be up there or not. There's a high drive deep into left field. Kruk is back. He's back to the wall, and this one is gone. A 3-run homer. 3 runs on one swing of Ivan Calderon's bat.
He'll have that look in his eyes, but I say he's got good body language.
There's a high drive. Kruk is back at the wall, and this one is gone. He has tied Will Clark. His 5th RBI of the game and his 2nd home run.
He probably thought someone was out there on base.
I noticed he had a look in his eye on that at bat, Joe.